Today I'm turning my museum into a castle with a heart-shaped waterfall. Hi everyone! My name is Katy, and thank you for joining me for another Animal Crossing video. Today's build has got to be one of my most favorite ones of recent memory. We will be turning my regular old museum into a beautiful cherry blossom castle with gorgeous waterfalls and sculptures and bridges and all kinds of photo opportunities. So let's get started. So I put my castle museum to the left of my shrine walkway, which I will have the speed build of linked down below. And I had to start out by continuing the main road path that I just kind of left off when I built that. I wasn't really sure what I was doing as I started building this. All I knew is that I wanted to make a castle, that I wanted a heart-shaped waterfall, that I needed some cliffs, and that I wanted to connect my river mouth to the cliffs. Beyond that, I had no idea what I was doing. This is my first ever castle build that I've done, I think. So I was excited to use those items, but a little bit intimidated, not knowing the sizing and the placement of everything. So I just had to start by building up some cliffs. I started with just a giant square, and eventually I end up putting a second level of another giant square on top of it. I am planning on resetting this island once I'm done with it, so I don't intend to use the museum very often, though I did still want it to be accessible in some way to the player. So I did build this all the way up on the second cliff, and you have to do the little scoot to get there, but I'll show you what I mean once we get to that point. So once I have my huge cliffs built up, it was time to work on this waterfall. I was inspired by this beautiful image on Twitter, and since I've seen that image, I've known that I need to have a heart-shaped waterfall on this island. And this seemed like the perfect place to do it. I was already building up cliffs, and I wanted to use a lot of statues and make this a bit of an elegant core vibe. And I thought a heart-shaped pond was a perfect addition to that. It took me a few tries to get this all right. I had to cut out quite a bit of failure. I ended up moving the whole cliff over a few spaces, but eventually I got the heart to look like a heart, which was a big win, honestly. And then, like I said, I wanted this waterfall to connect to my river mouth, and I just kind of eyeballed it. I wanted the bridge to line up perfectly with the center of the heart, and then from there I just made a diagonal connection between that part of the river and my river mouth. Now, this whole area is starting to take shape. I can start to kind of visualize what this is going to look like, so I started laying down some pathing to visualize where the museum and the inclines are going to go. I did give this a very symmetrical look, which I wanted because again, I'm doing that kind of castle elegant core right here, and I feel like usually symmetry looks best on those. So then I paid off my bridge and I was ready to kind of get started mapping out how I wanted this castle to look. I started with laying down the walls on this right side just to get an idea of how much room I was working with. And then I started laying down some other pieces that I knew I wanted to include, like the castle gate and the back wall of the whole castle, and some more towers and all of that jazz. And once I laid down the plot for my museum, I was ready to start cooking. I was laying down castle walls, and you can really start to see the castle structure take place. And while building this, I was like, oh, this is looking good. I was really excited. I, again, had never built castles before in the game yet, so doing this was just a lot of fun for me, and again, one of my favorite builds that I've done of recent memory. And then I wanted to layer that medieval side wall in front of those castle gates because I loved the different textures and colors that those side walls bring, but they still match the castles themselves. And I also made use of some of those beautiful topiary items that we got with the 2.0 update. I absolutely love those, and again, I don't get the chance to use them as often as I'd like to, so getting to use something different is a huge breath of fresh air. And then once I could see how I wanted the structure to look, I picked up a bunch of those items and then laid down a bunch of that dirt pathing that I have. And I also added some cherry blossom trees to fill in some space. I really love this shade of the castle walls and towers and the medieval side walls. I think it's my favorite, though I do love the pink medieval side wall, and I wish that there was a pink castle wall. Like, why doesn't that exist? It makes no sense. So then I just put back those topiaries and I started to add some more items down below. I think that this shade of the plant partition matches the castle perfectly, and I thought that looked really nice to kind of hide some of that cliff coloring. And then I decided to use some of that beautiful wildflower green pathing that I used in my last build in this area. I think it looks so pretty and it works with the elegant core theme and all of my floral accents that I use around the whole island. I really like how that worked. And you can see I went with the symmetrical statues on either side of the heart. And while I did really like how that looked, they are such an awkward size that getting around to take photos in this whole area sucked. Just an FYI, it really sucked. I had to build up cliffs in the middle of the waterfall just so I could take photos of the area. But it is what it is. It's worth it. So now I'm just really getting my decorating groove on. I'm placing patterns and flowers and some cherry blossom trees and more statues. Nothing too complex or anything, very natural and very white and pink and green. And I think that it's perfect for my whole island theme, which is basically all white, pink, and green. You'll see I fixed up those cliffs a little bit, and I'm just adding a few more accents. I also had to be careful of which decorations to add so that if someone really wanted to get into my museum, they still could. But you do have to do the scoot little sidestep by the topiary there. I never go to the museum on this island, so I wasn't too worried about it. Then I was decorating the below part. Of course, I had to have some pagodas. I love those items. And then I'm just using similar items to up above the plant partition, some more flowers, and then the white tall lantern variant. And you can see as I run back and forth, I have that little piece of cliff built up in the middle of the waterfall, just so I could visualize how the photos would look. And then I'm just decorating the sidewalk how I always do, with modes of transportation and cute little areas. I add in a phone booth and a little fortune cookie stand. And I'm just adding a few more items and then I'm done. Alright everyone! That went by so quickly. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I just love how this looks. I love those beautiful winged statues and the castle walls. It looks so grand. And of course, having the pink cherry blossoms and my pink hyacinths wiggle in the wind with the cherry blossoms falling. I just think it's perfect for my island, and I'm just really proud of this one. I hope you liked this one. If you did, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. And if you'd like to see more from me, be sure to hit subscribe and click that notification bell to receive updates of when I post my next video. I hope that you and yours are staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye!